Welcome to our channel. We're excited to have you join us in learning to master English. Our channel aims to make learning English easy, fun, and engaging through our podcast series.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we are heading over to Indonesia. We're going to take a really interesting look at how they approach diabetes there.
Sounds good.
So we found this really cool audio source. It is all in Indonesian, and it is explaining diabetes to the Indonesian public.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is like a really cool window into how another culture tackles this, this global health problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty rare that we get to see how another culture, especially in their native language, is, working with these health challenges.
Absolutely. So we're gonna kind of break down what they're saying, but also kind of explore what this reveals about health communication and just different cultural perspectives.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
So let's just jump right in. Like, what does this audio actually tell us about diabetes itself?
Well, it starts with the basics. They define diabetes. They talk about the role of insulin, the hormone from the pancreas that regulates blood sugar. And then they actually go into the different types, right? They talk about type 1, type 2, and gestational diabetes.
Yeah.
So it's pretty comprehensive.
Okay, so they're hitting all the big points. But what I thought was really interesting was how they kind of delved into the causes of each type.
Yeah.
Can you unpack that a bit?
Yeah, for sure. They're very clear about the autoimmune nature of type 1 diabetes. They explain how the body's own immune system mistakenly attacks those insulin-producing cells in the pancreas.
See, that's what I love about these deep dives. You hear autoimmune all the time, right? Like to actually have it broken down like that. So, okay, cool. Type 1, they're talking about the autoimmune aspect. What about type 2 and gestational? What did they highlight there?
Yeah. So for type 2, it was, the usual suspects, right? Obesity, lack of physical activity, and family history. And with gestational diabetes, they explain how it pops up during pregnancy in women who didn't have diabetes before. And they talk about how these pregnancy hormones can actually kind of mess with insulin's ability to, do its job.
Oh, wow.
It's really fascinating.
So pregnancy hormones are actually working against you.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So let's talk about preventing and managing diabetes, right? What did they have to say about that? Like, what's their approach?
It's surprisingly similar to a lot of the stuff we hear in the West.
Oh.
They talk about a healthy diet, maintaining a healthy weight, getting regular exercise, cutting out smoking, and going easy on the alcohol. They also really emphasize the importance of regular checkups, especially for those who are at higher risk.
It makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Like, even though cultures can be so different, the fundamentals of good health are pretty much universal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a common thread through humanity.
Totally. Okay, but here's where I think it gets really interesting. This Indonesian audio gets really specific about what to eat.
Uh-huh.
So what are they recommending? What should people be eating?
Well, they are really big on high fiber foods, so lots of fruits and vegetables and whole grains. They also recommend lean meats, fish, eggs, legumes, and healthy fats. So like those found in avocados, nuts, and olive oil.
Okay, so this is actually making me hungry.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good, right?
It sounds really good.
It's a very balanced approach.
It does. Okay, so they're saying like eat this good stuff. What about foods that they're saying to avoid or limit?
Yeah, they advise cutting back on sugar and simple carbs. Like candy, cake, soda, white rice, the usual suspects. And they also warn against saturated and trans fats, which, you find in a lot of fast food, fried foods, margarine, that kind of thing.
Okay, so that's interesting because while the general advice, like, eat healthy, overlaps with what we hear here, I wonder if the emphasis on certain foods reflects, local dietary habits.
Absolutely.
Like maybe they're more rice heavy in their diet in Indonesia, and that's why they specifically call that out.
Yeah, I think that's a really insightful observation. I mean, it makes sense that their dietary advice would be tailored to address the common dietary patterns within their culture.
Right. It's like they're saying, here's how to adapt healthy eating to your Indonesian lifestyle.
Oh, exactly.
Okay, cool. So we've talked about diet. What about exercise? What kind of things did they suggest people should be doing?
Well, they specifically mention aerobic activities like brisk walking, cycling, and swimming. And, they reiterate the point that exercise can help improve blood sugar control and increase your body's sensitivity to insulin.
Okay, cool. So this audio has given us a really well-rounded approach, actually. I mean, it's really interesting to see how another culture tackles this. What I thought was really interesting was that emphasis on those specific dietary changes, it really highlights that healthy living has to be adapted to a person's own lifestyle and their cultural context.
Absolutely. I mean, this audio really makes you wonder what other cultural approaches to diabetes are out there? Like, what can we learn from them? And, how can we better tailor our own advice to different communities and their unique needs, right?
That's, I think, a fantastic thought to kind of leave our listeners with. Like, there's so much information out there, and it's in all these different languages. Keep diving deep, everybody, and we will catch you in the next episode.
See you next time.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.